The rear brakes on a 2009 Dodge Journey SXT with a 3.5 liter two-wheel drive. I'm going to set the emergency brake here first. And I jacked it up. There's a hub thing underneath the rear suspension, and I have a big breaker bar here I like to use. Makes it a lot easier to break your lug nuts loose, which I've already done. I like to use an impact, makes it a lot quicker. Sometimes the tire comes off hard, as you can see. I just like to give it a nice kick. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Then you got your caliper here. You got two bolts, one right here, one right there where the rubber is, another one down here. And then you got your bracket for your rotor. There's two bolts, top and bottom. Some people like to just take the whole rotor bracket right off and do all that at once. It saves a little time, but there's grease that goes in here so it slides back and forth, and I like to clean all that out, the old stuff, and put new in, because I've had some of them that's the grease is actually dried right up in, and I just like to be better. It feels better safe than sorry. So I'll take the caliper off first, and then I'll take the bracket off. Show you that once I get it done. Now, a lot of times these rotors get glued on there they're almost like welded on from rusting on so long. I like to take a propane torch here, heat it up a little bit. Maybe. If my torch ain't too. So I like to take these right off. These are caliper slides. And I like to clean that right out in there. I just spray some brake cleaner in it, and take a couple paper towels, twist them all together till it fits in the hole, take it all the way down, and clean it out good. As you can see, some of the grease starts to turn black on it after a while. When I did the front brakes on this, one of them was seized right up inside of it, because the grease was so dried out. That's why I like to change them, or change the grease in it. I mean, you don't have to do this, but You certainly don't want to have a caliper freeze up on you when you're driving down the road and hit your brakes. So it's best to got a few extra minutes to clean them out real good. Put fresh caliper slide grease in it. Take this brake lubricant grease and I just squirt some in the holes. Then I just take the slides, work it in there, just twist it around, keep pushing it in, work all that grease in there good. Basically, you just want your slides to slide in and out real good, like that. I like to do them a couple times, get quite a bit of grease in there. I mean, if you have too much, excess will just push out back into the boot. I usually squirt it in there about 3 times. It don't take that long to do it, so if you ask me, it's worth doing. Changing the grease. See, this one probably could use it a little bit more yet. You just want to have a little pressure on it coming back out. You don't want them to stay all the way down, you know. Like that's probably good there. Hold on a second. I'll get this boot back on. Then they'll just, you know, and usually with your new pads, you'll get new clips. And these are the clips that your brake pads slide in and out, slide on and off with. So you just take it, stick it on this side. Stick it on the one side and then just push. Pops right on. Do the same with this one. Flip it around the other way. Do the other side. Make sure they're on there good. Now we'll go back over there and install this. I just rented this caliper, disc brake caliper tool set. And this comes with the stuff. It works on a bunch of different vehicles for pushing your caliper back inside or your piston back inside your caliper. I need this one here, this thing, and this one here. Then it just goes together like this. This will slide through that hole there. Pull this all the way that way, and then it just slides over top of it. And this one just fits right on there like that. Then this part will pull back against your caliper. I'll show you when I get it on here. Yeah, and you basically just put that on. There's a couple grooves in your caliper or your piston here, because these are screw-in. Most vehicles just have a push-in caliper. You can either use a C-clamp on it, or you can use this tool that has another attachment just to screw this in, and it pushes your caliper back, or your piston back in your caliper. The screw-in one, you just turn it clockwise until you get it all the way in. Pretty easy, really. So I got the new rotor on, back on. I tightened these two bolts, the caliper bracket bolts here. There's two of them. I torqued them with a torque wrench to about 90 pounds. And then I got the new pads here. These pads have a surface on, so you don't have to put stop squeak stuff on it. A lot of pads you'll have to spray some on both sides of the back of the pad. Just don't get it on the friction side. This just peels off. Slides up into here. Alright. Get it on the bottom first. Top or bottom first, whatever works best for you. I slide it right up against the rotor. Do the other one here. See, it has a sticky surface to it. There you go. Then should be able to slide this back on your caliper. You gotta get it, pull it over the thing here. And obviously I put a block in front of the front tire when I jacked it up too, because I had to take the emergency brake off in order to move the caliper around easier. But you get the caliper on there. Be right back. You'll just get the bolt in here. The top one started. There you go. And you just gotta squeeze this in. Get that one on. Yeah, get that bolt started. Just tighten these two bolts up. And by the way, these two bolts are 13 millimeter. And then your caliper bracket bolts here are 18 millimeter. And then the lug nuts, I use a 3/4 inch deep wall socket on them. And sometimes, like this one is just turning. Well, you want to make sure you get it a little snug. I mean, you don't want to super tighten it, but you take a 15 millimeter wrench and you can get it on right there behind it. Hold the wrench. There. And usually you don't have that problem, like this bottom one that's not doing that. Then after you tighten that up, you're all done. You can put your tire back on. Torque your lug nuts to about 100 pounds of torque. I just put them on with the impact and then I give them a good quarter turn, usually. Then you're going to come over here, and when I push my calipers back in or screw them back in, which ones I'm doing, I always take this cap off. It helps them go in easier. And then just check your brake fluid level. Make sure you don't need to add any. Then pump your brakes up quite a few times to make sure that that caliper screws back out before you go taking it out of gear, or else you're not gonna stop very good. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. More to come soon. Thanks.